So, quick question for you. When you think about the goals that you set back in January or sometime at the beginning of the year, do they still feel right? Or are you maybe sitting here thinking, I actually don't even remember what my goals were at the beginning of the year? So, listen, if you found yourself kind of spiraling in the weeds of your business, in the weeds of the news this year, so much going on, chasing new opportunities or navigating all the unexpected detours that have been going on, or you're just literally trying to keep your head above water, I can tell you 100% you're not alone. And regardless of having a really chaotic year like we've been living through, the mid-year haze, I'm going to call it the mid-year haze, is really real because life always ends up lifing in some way. And when you get to that mid-year point, it becomes a little hazy, and it's a really perfect time to pause and reset. Not to just get back on track, but to actually redefine what on track even means for you. Because sometimes that biggest shift that we need isn't necessarily about doing more, setting bigger goals. It's actually about getting more clear and more focused on what success actually looks like for you right now. So that's what we're going to talk about today. This is your mid-year reset episode with a little bit of a twist. We're not just going to be dusting off your old goals. We're actually going to be grounding in what matters the most to you right now this year, so you can finish this year strong, focused, and feeling aligned with life and business that you're actually trying to build. So grab a pen, let's chat, let's get into it. Real quick, I need to tell you about something that's been a total game changer for so many of my clients and students. If you've been trying to grow on Fair, but your orders have been slow, your market results have been less than desirable, or you're just not getting discovered the way that you know you should, this is for you. So I created a free workshop called the Fair Success Blueprint Workshop, and I teach you the exact framework that my students have used to land brand new retailers, have their best fair markets ever, and even grow their wholesale revenue by over 50% or more compared to last year. We've had some that have grown upwards of like up 500% to last year. Seriously, this is the strategy that is working right now on the Fair platform. In under 45 minutes, I walk you through what buyers are actually looking for on Fair right now, why most brands stay invisible and how to fix it, and a proven 3-step strategy to stand out to sell more on Fair without adding 100 new SKUs or even rewriting your entire page. So if you're ready to finally turn Fair into a consistent, high-performing sales channel, head to kristenfishercoaching.com/fair blueprint or click the link in the show notes. You can watch it right away. You can take notes and get your exact strategy to start showing up like the brand that your dream retailers are already looking for. Okay, let's rewind for a second. So remember January? January always has that vibe, that like sparkly, clean slate energy. The world is our oyster. You might be a little bit of a holiday hangover. You're still a little bit exhausted from everything you just went through, but there's so much potential and so much clarity, and you got some rest, and you come in guns blazing at the beginning of the year. Maybe you're a vision board girl. Maybe you're all about goal setting. Maybe you went through my goal setting workshop at the beginning of the year, and you just really felt like this would be your year because you had clarity. You sat down, took the time to really dig into it. You might have like hit the ground running, or maybe you slowly built into it. Everybody plans differently. I'm a ease into the year kind of girl. But regardless, however you do it, if you do it in a couple days or if you do it in a span of a couple of weeks, you probably had this excitement and this buzz like underlying the surface, right? But now, fast forward, and we're halfway through the year. So I'm recording this in June. It's airing in July. And there's a lot going on. There's a lot going on. And, you know, that happens always. There's always that mid-year point where it's like, okay, so much has happened this year. I am trying to remember what I even set out to do. And what I want you to really think about right now is, how did you feel at the beginning of the year? Like, what is that energy? Because we want to tap back into that for this episode today. And as you're evaluating where you're at right now and where you're going for the rest of the year, I want you to have that energy, because with all the stuff that's going on, all the news, the heaviness that's out there, the changes with the economy, the ups and the downs and the uncertainty and the wins. You've definitely experienced wins this year. You've definitely experienced lows. That is just business. But we're in quote unquote unprecedented times that we just cannot seem to get ourselves out of. But we're here and we're doing it. And we have the power to control as much as we can. And so we're going to talk about that today. And I really want to start with just thinking about, okay, where were you at the beginning of the year? Okay. Now, I want you to also think about, okay, this is what I said at the beginning of the year. And let's just think about, I don't know, what's happened for you personally since then. You might be feeling like you're crushing it, which is awesome, amazing, so happy for you. You might be feeling like you literally wrote your goals down on a Post-it and they have since burned to the ground. Like you don't even know, right? You could be somewhere in the middle. And chances are you're somewhere in the middle, because most of us usually are. And that just means we're in it, right? We're just in it. We're just living in it. And that's honestly a lot of the beauty of running our own business. And it's just the beauty of life. Like the goal isn't necessarily the destination. It's oftentimes the process and how we grow and evolve and push ourselves and learn in those in-between stages, I should say. And really the mid-year point of every year is a perfect example of just like that business journey, because it's the calendar year, just marks that halfway point. The excitement of the new year is like long worn off. You've had all the things that have happened in life and in your business. You're in the summer distraction phase. You're juggling all the things. You're launching holiday. You're planning holiday. You're buying holiday. Like we are holiday mode despite it being 100 degrees out. You're prepping for trade shows, fair market, whatever the thing may be that you're going through, you're just like suddenly thrown into it. And it can start to feel like your business is running you, not the other way around. So I really want to use this conversation as an opportunity to just take back the wheel and just kind of gain control again, because this is the perfect time to do that. And quite frankly, if you were just sitting here saying, I'm just sticking with my January goals, like I'm just moving forward, that's actually not the right thing to do, because so much has changed. And it's why I always preach that goals should be an ebb and flow and evolution. They are not set in stone. They're just a guide for you so you know where you're going, right? So I've been having this conversation a lot with my one-on-one clients, and also inside the Fair Bootcamp, just wrapped up the last live cohort, and we did a market prep sprint week where we really talked about goals and kind of resetting. And even at the beginning of this past Fair Bootcamp, we really talk a lot about defining what success looks like for you. Defining what success looks like for you. I really want to just articulate that and keep saying that, because success does not have just one definition. It doesn't have to look like what it did 4, 5, 6, 7 months ago. It doesn't have to look like what you thought it was going to be a year ago. I mean, shit, look at me. A year ago, I still had a gift box business, and I was weighing the decision that I ultimately made to close that down and fully focus on this mentorship business that I love so freaking much. But for me, success was that being a 7-figure business. And if I didn't hit that, I wasn't successful. And I really grappled with that. I mean, literally, it's kind of having this like revelation live on this podcast for myself. But a whole year ago, I was coming to terms with, wait a second. I said for myself that success for me was this number that I made up, this arbitrary number. Like I just pulled it out of thin air, and I was like, whenever I hit this number, I'll be successful. And when I stopped and looked at it, I was like, wait a second. I have actually had an insanely successful business, still growing. I still have, bookings solid with custom gifting projects, and my e-commerce business is doing really well, and yada, 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 all the things. I'm like, wait a second. Who told me that that was what success was? And actually, I feel like I'm running myself ragged because I'm trying to do two different things. And actually what success is going to look like for me is working like all in, full heart, full mind, body, everything, working with brands and product-based business owners fully. Like that for me, helping people is my definition of success. And I had to like let go of my tie to that. So all that to be said, success does not have one definition. It also does not have to look like anyone else's version of success. Okay? So let's start there. So, this is going to be kind of like a little bit of a like journaling episode, I guess. So you can always come back to this if you're walking or packing orders or driving or whatever. So just kind of earmark this. But I'm going to just kind of talk through some prompts that I want you to sit with that have been were helpful for me when I was going through this decision. And I've really just embodied this concept of defining what success looks like for me ever since I realized that I was maybe chasing someone else's version of success. And I was like, nope, we're not doing that anymore. And I've been bringing that into my coaching practice. And it just, I feel like gives a lot of clarity and a lot of breakthroughs. And I wanted to bring that here to you today. So we're going to do like some, I don't know, journal prompting, thought prompts. Okay. So I want you to, again, let's go back to January. And I want you to think about what success felt like to you earlier this year. So it could be like the idea of these new things that you were thinking of, but like just think back to how you felt, like what feelings did you have, I should say, in your body whenever you were planning those goals? Like your intuition, what was it physically telling you? Then I also want you to think about what has felt really good in your business so far this year. Like what's really lit you up, sparked your soul, gotten you excited? Has there been something that surprised you that's just felt really good? And I want you to sit with that for a second and really think about it, because sometimes there are things that really light you up, get you excited, but you say, that's fun and that's exciting, but like my goal is this, so I can't actually let my intuition guide me to this fun, exciting thing. And there's a big difference between always chasing the shiny object and always needing that little dopamine hit of this new thing versus this little ping that is telling you that the track that you're on is the right track because it lights you up from within and feels so good. But we're like shutting it down because we're like, nope, we've been told not to chase the shiny object. I have said don't chase the shiny object, and I still fully believe that because there is a difference. And it's when you really pause and slow down and take time to think about what feels good in your business, what feels good for you, whenever you start to recognize the difference between the shiny object and the ping. Okay, so what's felt good for you so far this year in your business that's lit you up, that's felt amazing, that is your intuition telling you, hey, there's something here, okay? Now I want you to think about like what goals or expectations are you perhaps holding on to that maybe aren't actually yours? What goals or expectations are you holding on to that may not actually be yours? They might be somebody else's version of what success looks like. It might be you're looking to other brands, brand owners, and seeing what they're doing and feeling like, well, success means for me whenever I look like them, or when I'm able to open up my shop, or whenever I'm able to hire, or whenever I'm able to get into X retailer, or I hit a certain dollar amount, right? Like what are the things for you that you might not actually truly want, but you are saying that's what success actually looks like? And the last one in this little section is if nobody else was watching you, no one was watching. So no social media people, no customers, no business friends, no other brands out there, because other people are watching you. If you're looking at other people for inspiration or as your friendly competition, you have people doing that for you as well, right? That are looking up to you and what you've accomplished and defining what you've done as success. Okay. So if no one was watching, what would you want your business to do for you by the end of this year? What does that really look like? What would you want your business to do for you and only you by the end of this year that would feel successful? That could be paying you a higher salary or just paying yourself in general if you're not there yet. That could look like hiring somebody. That could look like getting your operations in place. That could look like hitting a certain, ideally, profit number. I'd hope that you're looking at that mostly. Revenue number, getting in a certain number of stores, but maybe it's not a revenue marker that would be success for you. Maybe it's just feeling better in your business in your day-to-day. So if no one else is watching, what would you want your business to do for you by the end of this year? Okay. All these questions, it's all just leading up to getting caught up in other people's versions of success and winning. Like those revenue milestones or press features or product launches or being in the big retailer. It's all exciting, but not all of it has to be yours. You want that business that you're building, that you're pouring everything into, to not only be supporting your dream life, but also just lighting you the F up and getting you so excited. Not having your business run your life. And I know I've said that a million times, but truly, like you want this to be supporting your ultimate dream life. So if you want, you can pause this episode and you can jot down some answers on those prompts. If not, I'm going to keep going, but definitely come back to it if you can't journal right now. All right. So we had to get that foundation in place because I want you to carry that with you through this like mini mid-year reset. And the reason we're resetting right now, I mean, I know I keep harping on it, but obviously a lot has gone on this year. But just generally speaking, it's always a good idea quarterly. And if you don't do it quarterly, at least do it at the mid-year point. It's just go through your goals again and just say, are these still relevant? And just get yourself reinvigorated, refocused. You are about to obviously hit the biggest half of the year. And if things have felt slow for you, I mean, first of all, I'll just say you're not alone in that, but buyers are still buying and they're going to keep buying because consumers are going to be buying. Consumers always spend during the holiday season. They just do. Okay. So that doesn't mean there's going to be this sudden boom this holiday specifically. No one can tell. We don't have a crystal ball, unfortunately. But there will be people that have been saving all year or cutting back all year so that they can splurge or do something to feel good over the holiday season. So there will be money to be had, and your buyers know that. If you're a buyer listening to this, you know this as well. And this is a reminder to not be afraid to spend money on inventory, even in the slow periods, because I know that is the hardest thing to do, is to invest in your inventory when sales are slow, because it's like, oh my gosh, I'm spending money and just saying a prayer people are going to buy. But it's really just good to kind of reset your mind here, and also remind yourself, if you've been around the block, if you've had your store open, if you've had your brand for years, you know, even though it's uncomfortable right now, you know what happens in the next couple months. And if you haven't, if you're newer in business, just know retail is so predictably unpredictable, I would say. It's cyclical, and we always face this slow period in the middle, whether the economy is good or not. Sometimes it's just slower than others, but it always spikes back up. So I want you to have that in mind as we're going through this next little section. Okay, so now let's really go into this mini mid-year reset. So the first step here is to review and celebrate. Review and celebrate. So this is what I walk through with my clients, and I want to do this with you today. So I want you to go back and pull out those annual goals that you set for yourself. If you don't have a formal doc, that's okay, but this might be a good reminder, like, hey, you should start doing that so that you can easily go back to it. The goal setting workshop has a really great spreadsheet in there if you just want something that's already built out. It's perfectly formatted for this, and it's intended to be used as a guide throughout the year to change with you mid-year, at the quarterly level, all the things. So let's think back. What did you want for yourself and for your business this year? And I want you to look at what you've actually done so far, what's actually happened in your business, what wins have you had, even if they weren't on that original list. Like, Write down your wins. I always keep a doc of wins, and it's just really helpful for those moments when you're like, what am I even doing? Does anybody like my product? Does anybody like me? And then you look at the list and you're like, okay, yep, I am just having a day. So go through and just brain dump. You can go, an easy thing to do is to just on a piece of paper, just write down every month of the year and just go through the mental Rolodex of everything that's happened each month and just reflect on at least one good thing that's happened. One accomplishment, one win. What's happened? What's progress that you've made that perhaps you have not paused to celebrate? I want you to write it all down. Big wins, small shifts, breakthroughs, investments that will push your business forward, new wholesale accounts, stockists, increased orders. This could be also metric specific. If you've seen an increase in your average order value or your return rate, you've increased traffic to your e-commerce site, you've grown your email list, you've built new connections, whatever moved your business forward, I want you to capture it. And also do this for your personal life because look, we are not corporate brands here, right? Like you are balancing it all. And so sometimes when things are going really great in your personal life, things might be tough in business and vice versa. And so you got to look at both sides of the coin and celebrate both sides. So then I want you to actually celebrate it because if I had to guess, you probably haven't really done much celebrating because we like to just move on and kind of forget the thing and say we'll celebrate later and then we never do. And when we do, it doesn't feel as good because it's like, whatever, that was so long ago. I've moved on. I've already come up with 5 new goals that have surpassed that. Okay. So I want you to celebrate it. And that could look like so many different things. That could be taking a day off. That could be saying the next 4 weeks, I'm going to do summer Fridays. That could be booking a massage or, I don't know, taking yourself on a little date, a little self date. Right? Just do something to reward the work that you've done and the accomplishments that you've had this year in whatever way feels really good for you. We always skip this part. I skip this part. My clients skip this part. I can't tell you how important this is because we need to really honor what we've already built. Otherwise, you're going to just constantly feel like you're behind because you're always moving the goalpost. You're always moving the goalpost because you're motivated, you're dedicated, you're a hard worker, you have big goals. You don't settle for good. You want great, you want excellent, right? But when that happens, we're constantly moving it forward. So that's why it's important to write your goals down so that you know what that marker, that benchmarker, yeah, that's the right word, your benchmark for success is. So you actually can see it when it happens. And when you see that it happens, you have to celebrate it so it sinks into your mind and your body. So like your body knows that that was a successful thing and it's like safe and good to celebrate it. Okay. So the next thing, we're going to audit where you're at now. So we're going to look at kind of 2 parts, like your business and your life. Because like I said, they're not separate and one is always impacting the other. So I always go through this little list. So what's working right now in both your business and your life? What's not working right now? What's not working? And that could be, like, I would say get really specific. I don't want you to say sales are slow. Fair is slow. Buyers aren't buying. No one's opening my emails. We're going to talk in the next episode about something called radical responsibility. We're going to talk about that. But right now, I want you to really be specific about what is not working and why it's not working. What's not working and why is it not working? And I don't want you to just say, the economy, Kristen, there's so much shit going on. It's the economy. People are still seeing success in their business right now. They are. And that doesn't mean it's as good as they wanted it to be, but there's still success happening. And so you can fix things. Doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily have your best year ever, but maybe you will. I don't know. Who knows? Okay. So where do I feel out of alignment? It's another question to think on. Where do I feel out of alignment? What am I doing for other people? What doesn't feel right? Or maybe there's something that just doesn't feel right anymore. That could be it too. Where am I spending my time and my energy? And is that where I want it to go? Are you spending a lot of time I don't know, designing Instagram posts and it's like 5 people see it. It's just soul sucking, right? Is that what you really want to be doing? Not saying you shouldn't be doing that, but like, how could you make it more creative, or how could you spend that time in a better way? And what do I actually want to focus on from now through the end of the year? What do you want to focus on from now through the end of the year? So I'm asking you all these questions to really get you thinking about this audit, this mid-year reset. What's working, what's not, what's out of alignment, how are you spending your time now, and what do you want to focus on through the end of the year? Because there's still so much time to be had, and we know there's so much money out there, and we want you to be laser focused on exactly what's going to move the needle, what's going to get you there in your business, and how to make your life feel better when you're doing that, so you're not burning yourself out. Okay? And when you look at from a sales channel perspective, I want you to really dig into which channels are actually converting. Are you perhaps overinvested from an inventory perspective or a time perspective in one area? Or do you have all your team focus on one channel and it's not working as well as another? Are you looking from a product assortment perspective? Are you looking over assorted? Does it feel cluttered, too much going on? Or is it really clear what you're standing behind? And evaluating your marketing. So are you actually spending that energy, or your energy being visible in ways that feel really good? Or are you just kind of spinning and like checking the box? I have to post on Instagram 5 times a week, and I have to be on Instagram stories every week, and da 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 da. Or are you actually being intentional with how you're spending your time? So a lot of this can be uncomfortable to go through. It can be, and I totally get that. And so you'll notice that I haven't really gone through a lot of data here. And I'm a big data girl. Your numbers do not lie. They do not lie. But sometimes, and I have also been known to say this too, like the numbers don't lie. Take your emotion out of it. Just look at your numbers. Yes, that is true. You should look at your numbers. They will tell you. So when I was talking about your sales channels, your product assortment, your marketing, all those things, all of that, you can look at your data. And then that's when you can say, what's converting? Am I overinvested? Do I have areas of opportunity to pull back or buy more into a certain category? All the things, right? Your data can tell you that. What your data cannot tell you is if you feel like you're in alignment. Your data cannot tell you, well, it can. It can tell you what your goals should be because you can spit it into software or AI and it can spit things out and be like, you should focus on this. But like, is that what you really want? Or is that just what AI is telling you want, right? You are the only person that knows you. You only know how you're showing up, what your energy feels like, how you're spending your time, how it feels in your body to be doing this. So it can be uncomfortable, but a lot of clarity lives in that. And the only way to really realign your business with your version of success is to be really honest with yourself about what's out of sync. And just have that courage to say, okay, I'm going to make some adjustments based on that. And then really the last step in this whole process is going back to kind of the top of this episode when I was talking about success and redefining what that looks like for you. And redefining what that looks like right now for you. Because obviously we have, like, I could sit here and say to you, oh, my definition of success, that looks like me on my brand new lake house, in my brand new lake house, like on my boat and blah, blah, blah. Like, of course I have this beautiful vision of what I want my life to look like. And that's cool. I can define success like that. Like I have a vacation home and all the things. But that's far away. Maybe it's not that far away. I don't know. Who knows what will happen with life. But what I'm saying is, I want you to think about it right now. In the next 6 months, boil it down to 6 months from now. When you're planning 2026 out, what will feel like, hey, I had a successful year despite a lot of challenges, a lot of things going on out of my control. I still managed to have a successful year because this, and this. And I don't feel like crap right now. I actually feel energized because I honed in on the things that felt good. I honed in on the things that felt right in July, and I buckled down. And this is the good part. This is where you get to say, like, I evolved as a leader of my business. This is when you're really stepping into that CEO role of your business. Even if you're the CEO of yourself, right? You still have to adopt that mentality because otherwise you're playing small. So this might be something like, okay, I need to spend the next few months really simplifying and focusing on the thing, the one thing. Maybe it's about focusing on wider visibility because I think right now we need more eyeballs to be able to get people at the top of our funnel, whether that's your wholesale funnel, getting more buyers aware of you from a wholesale perspective, or even D2C buyers. So focusing on widening your visibility. Maybe your goal is profit, not hustle. Okay. Maybe it's about being more present in your day-to-day and not being perfect. That's one I've been working on. Full disclosure. Enjoying the day-to-day, kind of romanticizing the days a little bit and just enjoying the time I'm in and not just always saying, once I do this, then it will feel good. Once I accomplish this, then I can do this thing. No. The beauty of life and the beauty of running your business is being in it, even if it's uncomfortable. But the only way we get better is being honest with ourselves in the moment and just really owning it. So from here, I want you to just go back through everything you journaled with your January or your annual goals by your side. And I want you to choose up to 3 goals maximum for the rest of the year. 1 to 2 per quarter tops. Even better if it's one really killer goal that will work across a 2-quarter period, right? Because then your focus is dialed in. So you're really dialed in across each month, each quarter. You're just building it and you're like, this is what I'm focused on. This is what I'm focused on. And it could be 1 or 2 different things. So really, I would say up to 3 goals for the rest of the year should be your focus, but don't be afraid to have less. One could be like a project goal. Like, I want to execute this system in my business, right? Like, that's a goal that's different. That's more of a operations systems goal. But then you could have one that's more revenue focused, visibility focused, something like that. But then really get specific on how you're going to get there. So mapping out those little mini milestones underneath that kind of big rock goal is really important. And the reason I like to have less, not only so that you are allowing yourself focus and not putting so much on yourself that you're just spinning, it's leaving space for the unexpected. Because we are, living through it and things are always happening. We get distracted. There's stuff going on. You never know what's going to happen. What if you got a massive wholesale order and you had all these other goals and you're like, I couldn't even focus on that because I was worried about X, Y, and Z and I dropped the ball in this big order. Could you handle the order? You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure that you leave space for the unexpected, for all the fruits of your labor to actually work, right? You want all the stuff you're working on, when it actually works, it's like, oh, whoa, that kind of just has taken over my life right now. It's like hitting that next level. So you want to leave space for the unexpected, but you also want to leave space for play and for rest and for living your life and enjoying the holiday seasons. Like, that could be a goal, right? It's not about cramming more into your calendar. It's really about building the momentum and the focus in the right direction while leaving space for things to happen. So if you kind of want to take this further or you want that spreadsheet I was talking about, I highly, highly recommend checking out the goal setting workshop. This is a multiple part on-demand workshop that you can go through at your own pace. I walk through my proven framework. I take all my clients through this. It's the hindsight, financial goal setting, your launch and life road mapping, achievable goal setting, really maps it all out. You get instant access to this really awesome spreadsheet. You get the year at a glance. Oh my gosh, I can't talk. Year at a glance, what I meant to say. Visual planner. There's some prompts in there to help you just really build out your roadmap. And it's meant to be used all the time. is meant to be edited. It's not like a set in stone. So you can do it at the beginning of the year, but you can also use it for this mid-year reset. So it's like a one and done. It's an awesome resource. So I'm going to put the link in the show notes for you. You can also go to kristenfishercoaching.com/goal setting workshop. And I know it will really help you. There's guided videos to walk you through it as well. So it's basically just going a lot deeper than this episode and mapping it out with that spreadsheet. So I think it'll be really helpful for you if you are someone that just kind of gets a little bit hung up on the goal setting. It's like you get the really big ideas, but then you're not sure how to execute it. That's a big thing that I think we get stuck on a lot, myself included. That's why I built this out. So I hope that this episode feels supportive for you and just kind of hits home at this point in the year. I hope it gives you clarity on what you can be focusing on these next few months. And I hope it's a good reminder for you that sales are coming. Sales are coming. Consumers will be shopping. Buyers are going to be buying. If you are a buyer, you need to be buying because you will get those sales. Brands, you will get those sales. We have time. There's still time. There's still a lot of time for things to change and things to happen that will move the needle forward in your business, even though we might be uncertain about all the other things going on. Just control what you can control and make sure you feel like you're in alignment. So I hope that this gives you that clarity and that momentum. If you like this episode, please leave a review. I would be so honored, so grateful. I read every single one of them. It means so much to me that you listen. And by you leaving a review, it helps to have other brands and other product-based business owners find the show and help them as well. All right, so you've got this. There's plenty of time left in this year. Let's make it count. If you're ready to take your wholesale business to the next level on Faire, I invite you to check out the Faire Bootcamp. It's the only program of its kind that combines a step-by-step growth approach to optimize and stand out on Faire and buyer relationship building strategies to capture the attention of your ideal retailers, both on and off the Faire platform. With bite-sized, action-focused trainings, the Faire Bootcamp is designed to deliver results as quickly and efficiently as possible because I know you are busy and you do not have time to waste. So to learn more, head over to kristenfishercoaching.com/Faire Bootcamp. Thanks so much for spending some time with me today. If you are loving the show, I would be so beyond grateful if you would rate and review the podcast and share it with one of your biz besties to help spread the word. I hope that you absolutely crush your sales this week. I'll be back to chat with you next Monday.